this is a question from one of my followers, and she asked me, I'm in a relationship with a guy, and this isn't the relationship that I want. I know that it's not satisfying, my desires in a relationship, and I know this isn't what I desire. This isn't what I deserve. But when it comes to um, like communicating that to the man, I'm stopping myself. I find it very difficult. Sometimes I'm like rationalizing myself that maybe I'm doing something wrong by not desiring this relationship. Sometimes I'm trying to think of like a million ways on how to communicate my desire, but I can't seem to get myself to that place where I'm like communicating what I want and saying that this is not what I want. And this is normal for us women given our conditioning. Because number one, society tells us that as women, our desires and our needs are not a priority. What needs to be a priority for us women is the desire and the need of, like the man in a relationship, or maybe our kids. But it's not our desires that are the priority, right? And so also we are told, as women, we have to be nice, we have to be complacent, we have to make sure we're not triggering a man's fragile ego, we have to be super considerate of other people's feelings, we should not hurt a man's feeling. And so all of these come into play in a way that stops us from communicating our desires in a relationship. The other part of that programming that is stopping us from communicating our desire is the kind of childhood that we had. Maybe we were with caregivers who were not attentive to our emotional needs, and so we grow up with a like protection mechanism that through which we disconnect from our desire, from our need, and we deem it as unsafe. It's unsafe for us to communicate our needs. It's not important. Our need is not important. This is what the child's brain receives from their caregivers when the caregiver is not ready to satisfy a baby's emotional needs, a child's emotional needs. And so when our caregivers during our childhood were not present to give us all of our needs and desires, or if we're told, you have to be very obedient, don't let the adults like get angry at you, do what you're told, it's important that their desires, you satisfy their desires, and not yours, like we don't have time for you, we don't have money, whatever it is, we get programmed to believe that our desires are not important, number one. Number two, it is not safe for us to communicate that desire. And so this manifests in a relationship, in our behavior in relationships in a way that stops us from communicating that desire. And so we're stopping ourselves by doubting our desire, by trying to rationalize ourselves and convince ourselves that let's stay in that relationship, maybe it's not that bad, or how we try to convince ourselves. And we either go for maybe I should craft the most perfect way to communicate that need so that I don't trigger the other person, I don't hurt their feelings. And you know what? When we stand in our truth, when we stand in our power, this is us holding ourselves in compassion so that we take action on that and we communicate that desire. We tell the person, this isn't what I want. Because even through that act of breaking the relationship, this is compassion towards the other person as well, because we can't be at our best in that relationship, we're hurting them anyway. And it is truly an act of honor towards ourselves, that desire that we have to end that relationship. Um, Honoring our worth because we know we deserve better, and also honoring the other person as well, because we know that we cannot be at our best with them in that context, in that dynamic. And so, looking at it this way, that, you know, I deserve to have the relationship that I want, that I desire, and it's my birthright to desire that kind of relationship that I already have in mind. And it is safe for me to communicate that need. This is me being in compassion towards myself. Plus, when I communicate that, you know, I'm being in compassion to the other person as well, because we all know we're not interested in hurting other people's feelings. This isn't what we want. We are communicating the desire to, for example, end the relationship because we're, you know, honoring our own need and desire. But this is not what we have been programmed to do. And so we have to change that programming. We have to reverse that programming in a way that we start taking our power back from that programming, from that conditioning, and to stand in our power as women and communicate our desires in a relationship, to tell the man what we desire in a relationship. And if we desire to end the relationship, we have to own that desire. That's what men do. They do own their desires, and they are unapologetic about communicating that desire to the woman. And this is something that, you know, they do in honor of themselves, and this is something that we can learn from them as well. And so we have to be aware of this subconscious programming that is going on, and do it despite the discomfort that we're experiencing, because that programming is telling your brain it's not safe to communicate your desire, you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, and you know, all of that doubt starts playing out. But you know, you have to realize that this is a lie, what your brain is telling you. And you know deep down that you deserve to first honor yourself and to have that relationship that you want. And so from that place, you are communicating the desire in a relationship, whatever that is. And also, this is not exclusive to romantic relationships. This applies to all types of relationships. We have to own our desires unapologetically, because we have the right to have these desires. They are there for a reason, and we have to honor them. This is how we honor ourselves in the process, and we honor the other person as well. And so we're gonna have to do it despite this discomfort that is playing out because of the subconscious programming. But afterwards, once you do that, you're gonna feel powerful. You're gonna feel relieved, and the other person is going to appreciate that as well. No man appreciates a woman that is, you know, putting on a mask all the day in a relationship. He wants you to be yourself so that he's able to be himself as well. And this is how also you are able to expose a man's caliber. If a man is, you know, is in his healed, balanced masculine, he will receive your desire with respect. He's going to respect that desire. And you know, if he's one of those wounded masculine men, he's probably going to throw a temper tantrum at you, and that is just one of the casualties. But you know, once you are standing in your truth and in your power, this is going to expose people's caliber for you, and that is, you know, this is just fine. And so one example, you know, today on Facebook, someone was trying to interact with me on Facebook, and I was like not showing any type of interest. I'm not replying to the messages, I'm not even looking at the messages, but he kept on sending these messages. And then I thought to myself, like, why am I doing this? Why am I not communicating the fact that I'm not interested? This isn't what I want. And so that is what I did, and the other person accepted that in a very good way. And I truly respect a man who is able to accept a woman's desires. Some other time, in a previous time, a man threw a temper tantrum at me just because I did not accept his Facebook friend request. Okay, fine, he just threw that temper tantrum, and this would not like take me away from my attitude towards, I still did not want to interact with the person. And so people are going to receive that differently. But this is how you get to expose the man's caliber. When a man is confident, he stands true to himself, he is going to receive that in a very positive way. He's going to respect that desire, and that type of man truly deserves our respect. And like I said in the other example, if this man is just the wounded masculine, he's not going to accept that. But this is you, your essence, your truth, exposing other people's essence and truth, and that's a good thing. So every time you are in a relationship and you want to express your desire, just know that it is your birthright to have that desire. You deserve to have that desire. That desire is there for a reason, and it deserves to be satisfied. You deserve to give yourself that desire. And if this requires that you communicate that desire to the other person, even if it means breaking the relationship, own that desire with every fiber of your being, because this is you honoring yourself and honoring the other person as well. Thank you to everyone who watched me. If you have enjoyed this live, let me know your thoughts about this. If you want to know more about your societal conditioning and programming, how your childhood has played a part in programming your subconscious mind, I would love to connect with you over a free strategy session, which you can book through the link in my bio. This will direct you to my scheduler, and you can book a free session with me where you and I can dive deeper into how this programming has played out in your life, and what you can do to remove that programming, to reprogram your nervous system, your subconscious mind, to heal from the past negative experiences, to build your emotional resilience, to connect to your feminine essence, and to allow that feminine essence to express. All of that you can have through my 3 months one-on-one coaching program. That is a flavorful blend between science-based tools and techniques sorry, and feminine energy tools and techniques. But I would love to tell you more about that in a discovery session and as a free strategy session that you can book through my scheduler. Thank you to everyone who joined, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you.